Hello learners, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University, and we are discussing our unit 2 in the paper Fundamentals of Sociology. So far we have discussed about definition, nature and scope, and now let us move on to understanding the relationship of sociology with other social sciences. So, you are familiar with other social sciences, you know that history, political science, psychology, and economics, all public administration, all these are the different social sciences which are trying to understand the various dimensions of society from different perspectives, from different angles. And apart from these disciplines, anthropology is also one very interesting study which comes both under social science as well as biological science, because physical anthropology deals a lot with genetics, and that is where biological sciences also come into picture. And irrespective of what each discipline studies in its own dimension, what is very beautiful about this is all of these disciplines, their ultimate goal is to strengthen society, to improve the society. So now let us begin by understanding the relationship between sociology and anthropology. So anthropology as a discipline is coined from two words, anthropos and logos. Anthropos means man, logos means study. So it means study of man in past, present, future, all is included under anthropology. And who is living in society? Man is living in society. So you see, there is a natural interconnection between these two disciplines, and there are multiple branches of anthropology also, and you will be glad to know that in India, prior to sociology, anthropology as a discipline was much more established. So among branches of anthropology, we have physical anthropology, cultural anthropology, ethnography, applied anthropology, economic anthropology, social anthropology. Beautiful diversification of its branches are there. And social anthropology basically is trying to understand about the tribal communities, about their social structures, how they were living, and how tribal societies got connected with the non-tribal societies. When you talk about sociology, sociology focuses mostly on the contemporary societies, modern societies, but both anthropology and sociology, they are studying on social organization, kinship and religion. And if you also see the methods used in anthropology and sociology, they are interdependent on each other. Coming to sociology and psychology. Psychology, as you all know friends, it is the study of human mind in terms of human behavior, human learning, human cognition, human thought processes, how humans are motivated, human personality and intelligence, human emotions, right? So all these aspects of humans as individuals definitely impacts the community interaction. Both sociology and psychology use common methods. There are common areas of learning. For example, when you study about crime, when you study about juvenile delinquency, when you talk about challenges connected with mental health, both sociology and psychology come into picture, and that is where Emile Durkheim's popular work on suicides. Today, though people see that suicide is only psychological dimension, but it is not like that, because every psychological dimension will have a social context, and that is where we see both sociology and psychology are interconnected. So sociology is focusing on group behavior, and psychology is focusing on individual behavior. Psychologists try to explain different processes through individual traits, and sociologists try to explain it in a social context. So apart from anthropology and psychology, we also see that there is a strong interconnection between sociology and political science. All the social sciences, my dear friends, they have common areas of study also. So political science, of course, studies about government, state, power, political leadership, voting pattern. And do you think all these things exist in isolation? No, no. All these things exist in a social context, and this social context is understood by sociology. So even for the political dimensions, it operates in a social background, and that social background is studied by sociology. Now, political science in recent times is focusing a lot on e-governance. It is focusing a lot on international relationships, and that is where we are able to say it with confidence that most of the political processes, they are rooted in social structures and social relationships. So sociology studies the social basis of political behavior. It is very, very interesting. And like when you see the analysis of any election, I'm sure you might have seen assembly elections, Lok Sabha elections, when the analyst is showing the entire political voting behavior. So on what factors have people voted? Like, you know, nowadays women voters are voting a lot on women's safety and security. So this is a social aspect. So voting behavior though can be political and psychological in nature, there is definitely a social context attached to it. So there is a clear cut overlap between these two disciplines as well. Now coming to sociology and economics, you all might have heard about a beautiful book called as The Protestant Ethics and Spirit of Capitalism, written by Max Weber. This is the best example to state that sociology and economics are interrelated with each other. So economics, as you all know friends, it is the study of production, distribution, consumption. How are we consuming things? What kind of material, what kind of resources are we consuming? How wealth is being generated? There is focus on lot on supply, demand, market, investment, things like that, which we talk in sociology. So even the economic behavior of an individual or of a group, it has a social context. Now I was talking about Protestant ethics and spirit of capitalism, in which Max Weber tries to prove beautifully that how religion and economy are interconnected with each other. He tried to communicate very efficiently that all those countries where Protestantism as a religious principle existed in all those societies, he saw the flourishing of capitalism. Beautiful analysis. And of course we also have strong connection of sociology and history with each other. So history though is studying about the past, but if you have to understand present, can you understand it without past? No. So the historical context of present is provided by history to sociology, and the social context of the historical happenings is provided by sociology to history. So there is a strong interdependence of each other. History provides the data and context for sociology. Sociology analyzes those patterns and generalizations, and both use very, very scientific aspect. And we also have a discipline called as historical sociology. So friends, now let us conclude this particular unit. In this particular unit, we have tried to understand the interconnection between nature and scope of sociology, and we have tried to understand how sociology is interconnected with various other social sciences. Every social science, though it has its own unique dimension, definitely it is interrelated with sociology, and there is need for us to explore this kind of interdependence more in future, so that the integration of social sciences can help us to understand society better, and the role of sociology can be brought more into the forefront. So I hope you liked this lesson, you enjoyed this lesson. Continue to learn. Wishing you all a very happy learning. Thank you all.